Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to introduce you to a man who has quietly amassed a fortune beyond anyone's wildest dreams. His name is Brunello Cucinelli, and he is an unknown billionaire. Born on September 3, 1953, in Solomeo, Italy, Brunello's childhood was filled with hardship and poverty, but he refused to let his circumstances define him. With a relentless work ethic and an unwavering vision, Brunello built a global empire in the fashion industry. Despite his immense wealth, he has remained humble and dedicated to his community in Solomeo, where he resides to this day. But Brunello's story is not just one of financial success. He has used his wealth to make a difference in the world, supporting art, culture, and humanity. Through his work, he has shown us that success is not just about making money, but about making a positive impact on the world around us. So join me as we explore the inspiring story of the unknown billionaire, Brunello Cucinelli. A lot is made of employee morale these days. Some companies are notorious for the lack of it, like Dish Network and Hertz, while other companies have made morale part of their corporate cultural. Google and Costco achieve high marks. Italian designer Brunello Cucinelli, who has made his fortune selling high-end cashmere sweaters, has taken employee morale to a new age level. In so doing, he has validated his belief that Zen, compassion, and commerce can blend to be a billion-dollar business model. Cucinelli grew up in Castelrigon, Italy, to a family of very modest means. His hometown is located in Umbria, which is the only region in Italy with no coastline and no border with another country. It is the area where Saint Francis of Assisi and Saint Benedict founded their monasteries and shared their values of service, humility, and community. For the first 15 years of his life, Cucinelli lived in the country on the family farm. Then my father decided to take a job in a cement-making factory, and we left Castelrigon and went and lived on the outskirts of Perugia. My father became an ordinary factory worker. He regretted this later. Cucinelli attended college to study engineering but felt no passion in the pursuit. To help support the family, his mother began working for noted designer Luisa Spagnoli. Here in Umbria we live and breathe knitwear, Cucinelli explains. During the 1970s, Luisa Spagnoli, who was from Perugia, had over 3,000 people working for her from home, a woman very much ahead of her time. Spagnoli was the first to introduce the use of Angora yarn for knitwear in 1928. She raised a special breed of rabbit at her villa in Perugia, and also built a workshop designed to test spinning methods for yarns and knit fabrics. She eventually produced a thin yarn that she used to create elegant, high-quality knitwear. In his spare time, Brunello helped his mom out at Spagnoli's compound. There he felt a connection to the creativity and beauty of fashion, especially to the luxuriousness of cashmere. At that time, cashmere was considered a men's fashion fabric, used for coats, jackets, and other garments. Cucinelli noticed how many women would borrow their husband's or boyfriend's cashmere sweater, and the epiphany would prove life-changing. I was just a good-for-nothing ex-rebel in the late 1960s, Cucinelli admits. Then I had an idea. If Benetton made millions of women's jumpers in ordinary colored wool, I would do the same. But in cashmere, I was instilled and convinced that the future will be based on quality, the highest quality. He dropped out of school in 1974, set up shop in his parents' garage, and invested all his savings into creating a workshop, and then got a bank loan for $550 to create his first collection of 50 colorful Italian cashmere sweaters designed for women. He took his creations to Trentino Alto Adige, one of the most affluent regions in Italy, where his collection was quickly bought out. Cucinelli was officially a fashion designer. For 4 years I worked on my own. I did everything from making the jumpers on the machine to packaging them through the night. I sold practically everything I produced to Alto Adige because they were the only people who paid in cash within 30 days. In the early days of his business, Cucinelli says he would answer the telephone in different voices to make buyers think he was a major enterprise with many employees. Then I began to export to Germany. This was the real turning point, because back then banks would help finance foreign orders, and this made it easier to make a few small investments and take on my first employees. Even in those early days of success, Cucinelli approached business from a more ethical perspective than most, saying he adopted the philosophy of Saint Benedict to be a demanding teacher and a loving father. Towards the end of the 1980s, there was the eruption of the yuppie, and along with it the idea that profits are everything, that you need to be successful at any cost, even if that means treating your employees badly and not caring about quality and customers. I thought differently. My models were Socrates, Seneca, Saint Benedict, and Saint Francis. I wanted to maintain a relationship with people, If I make something, if I set up a business, I do it with the aim of improving the quality of life. Man doesn't own the earth, he is only its caretaker. It doesn't make sense to chase after enormous short-term profits, because everything passes, but the best things are those that one can savor over time. There are no long sweatshop hours, no difficult working conditions. He encourages employees to spend their 90-minute lunch breaks away from their desks. His New York office has a library on the top floor where workers can go relax and feed their spirit reading. Classical music plays in the state-of-the-art kitchen, and while he expects his employees to work hard during the day, he also encourages a personal life. I make sure we are all focused during the day, but at 6 p.m. I want all my employees to go home to their families and loved ones, because I think this way they will be more satisfied with their life. If I didn't have time for my family, my adorable baby granddaughter, my friends, my soccer team, and the books I love to read, I wouldn't feel complete. Cucinelli's office is a refurbished old castle. He restored everything but was careful not to modernize it. I left everything as it was, the 11 houses divided into small apartments, the church, and the castle. And this is where we work, surrounded by 8 centuries of history. All his employees have keys to the compound, coming and going as they please. No one has to clock in. He says, it's easy to have largesse when times are flush, but Cucinelli has stuck to his beliefs even during the 2008 recession. He promised not to lay anyone off during the financial crisis. In return, he asked for his employees to commit themselves to more efficient and more creative work. He lobbied longtime clients and convinced them to keep doing business even if they were not able to pay right away. There is a business reality that the best time to start a company is during bad economic times because startup costs for materials and labor are cheaper. 2 notable companies who began during crippling recessions were Microsoft and Federal Express. Cucinelli took a page from that philosophy by introducing new accessories, handbags, footwear, and lifestyle lines during the recession, which are now driving the company to new heights. Cucinelli shows the same care and responsibility to his community. He reinvested a large chunk of his company's then profits to restore his wife's hometown of Solomeo, where the company has its headquarters, as it was devastated in a September 1997 earthquake that injured hundreds and killed 14. By California standards, a 6.0 earthquake is easily ridden out because of strict building codes. But in Solomeo, it turned buildings to rubble. He has spent his own money to build a school, a public garden, and an arts center that includes a 240-seat theater and a sports center. The center was designed to be a gathering place where artists and the community can meet. He also sets aside 20% of the company's profits for the improvement of humanity. Although he still is the king of women's cashmere fashions, Cucinelli now has a men's clothing line as well. But what hasn't changed is the quality. Garments are still mostly handmade using the highest quality materials. His sweaters, which cost over $2,000 on average, are not meant to be showpieces under protective wraps in a closet. They are not formal wear. They are designed to add a bit of luxury and beauty to people's everyday life. Cucinelli is living proof that you can treat employees well, pay them above average salaries, provide comfortable, inspiring workplaces, and pursue philanthropy while still maintaining a thriving company. Since 2005, Cucinelli's business strategy has focused on opening flagship stores both in Italy and abroad, including Milan, Paris, New York, Miami, Madrid, Capri, and St. Moritz. There are also franchise stores in London, Tokyo, Moscow, St. Petersburg, Cortina, and St. Tropez. The locations are all on the most prestigious streets or in the most exclusive resorts. Cucinelli says his Zen approach helps him overcome the inevitable obstacles that all enterprises face. There are problems, like in any business, but when this company dies, and it will certainly die because that's the way things go, there will be people who will say that it was the fault of the model I have followed. But that is not so. Most companies don't die because their business model is flawed. No, they die when they stop wanting to improve, or stop being aware of the needs of their customers, or don't actively sell their products. Running a business is actually very simple.